let's start with Texas A&M and USC. So this is a conversation that has, and really, like, do we want to talk about it from the USC angle, Aaron? Or is this more of just a Texas A&M conversation?
I was going to come in initially when you said like which one is more of a championship job. Like USC obviously is they've won championships, so you can own the state of California, you can own the talent in that state. And obviously, A&M has proven they can recruit, but you'll never own the state of Texas. And there is a ton of talent there. I get that, but we've said this in shows past. I think a couple months ago of the whole little brother, big brother. Like you will always be little brother to Texas in that state. Now that, especially now that Texas is in the SEC, where USC, I know you're going to a new conference, but you can own the state of California. They're one of the most fertile grounds when it comes to recruiting. You should be able to create NIL opportunities being in a pretty big, second major TV market in America. So like USC can do it. Is Lincoln the guy to do it, and his philosophy and how he wants to, run his football team going into a more physical Big Ten? I don't know that, but USC is definitely a championship caliber program, 100%.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, like that's kind of why it's almost like I don't even know to have the convo, because they've won them and won a lot of them in the past. Like they have one of the best histories in all of college football. Like A&M is the bigger head scratcher here, and I disagree. I think this is a bit of Southern xenophobia right here. Billy Boy in the chat says Texas A&M, yes, but the West Coast does not care enough about college football for USC to be a true contender. IMO. I feel you. It is not built into the fabric of the culture, but as Aaron said, California is still super populous. They produce excellent quarterbacks. And here's what I'm always trying to explain to some of my Southern counterparts, right? Is that like, okay, at a place like LSU, you can have 95% buy-in from the people, but the economy is such that maybe that 95% equals getting 5% of buy-in in LA, right? Like they have so many people and so much money that you don't have to have, like, it doesn't have to be the main show in town to still be able to find enough.
I don't even know if it's
like
any show in town. Like my brother-in-law's in town for Thanksgiving. He lives in LA. He's he's a former athlete. He loves going to games. And I asked him that the other day. I was like, USC, Caleb Williams, reigning Heisman Trophy. Like, does your circle of friends care about USC football? And he's like, no. Like, we don't go to games. It's not really a big thing. It's not talked about at all. I mean, when you have two NFL teams in the city, when you have the Dodgers, when you have the Lakers, when you have the Clippers, it just gets left behind. I mean, you're way down the list of importance there. And I know it's a major city, and I know there's a lot of people there, but I just don't know if college football will ever get back to the point where people really give a damn about them.
Yeah, it will. If they win. People started to give a damn last year, and then they started to lose. So they checked out. Like, that's the bottom line. If they win. And USC, like we'll talk about A&M, has all the elements to be a consistent winner. Now, we're going to have to discuss Lincoln Riley during Fraud Watch, because this has been a complete disaster of a year two for Riley. But whatever. USC is clearly capable of being a championship program. The bigger question is Texas A&M. And this all kind of goes from a Brenton Zwinterman tweet where Texas A&M Athletic Director Ross Bjork on the Aggies football vacancy, quote, this is not an 8-4 job. You win the national championship, you'll get paid like a national championship coach. He said that on the Aggie Fan Zone radio show. What's funny about that is a lot of people immediately were like, okay, well, let's look. Is this an 8-4 job? And unfortunately for Texas A&M, Aaron, if you add up the last 19 years of Texas A&M football, 2 decades, a fair sample size, you have an average record of 7.5 and 5. So they are actually, you're right, they're not an 8-4 job. They're more of a 7-5 job, technically.
I heard someone try to compare. I heard someone try to compare A&M to, and I'm not here to defend Georgia or anything like that, but to Georgia in the sense of, oh, well, Georgia didn't win a championship since, the last one was 1980, and they went through this major drought. And then all of a sudden you get the right coach in Kirby Smart, and they're winning national championships and have a chance to win 3 in a row. Like A&M's the same way. We just need our Kirby Smart, and we're gonna find a way. Georgia had multiple 10 win seasons, 11 win seasons, 12 win seasons since that 1980 championship. Like, I mean, I was a part of some. David Green was a part of some. Matthew Stafford. Like there were tons of opportunities where, like, going to T-Bob's point, like it wasn't an average 7.5 win football team. So I don't agree with that. A&M could be like Georgia if they got their Kirby Smart.
Well, but here's the problem, though. As funny as that is, and as much as I love making fun of Texas A&M, I still do think Ross Bjork is correct. Like, I know that there is a certain voodoo, a certain curse, almost like Babe Ruth and the Red Sox, right? But we eventually saw that curse get broke as well. Like, ever since Bear Bryant left Texas A&M, they just have not sniffed championships. Barely even of the conference variety, absolutely not even close when you're talking about the national championship variety. But at the end of the day, here's a good thought exercise, Aaron.
Please.
Take Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, whichever national championship coach you love, and say, if I put them at this school, do I think they would win a natty? If you put Nick Saban at Kentucky, has he win a natty?
No.
Thank you. Ole Miss?
No.
Mississippi State?
I mean, if Lane can win 10 games, I mean, it's not that far off. You said Mississippi State.
You know the answer is no. Arizona. Okay, so you get the point of the exercise, right?
Yeah, I get the point of the exercise. Yes.
Exactly. Right, because they have all the elements. They have the geography.
I'm not here saying everything. They can't do it. I'm just saying that this isn't the same. They don't have the same history as, say,
you're defending. I get what you're saying. Georgia's history is better than Texas A&M's. There's no doubt about that. But the original point of if you hit a home run higher like Georgia did with Kirby Smart, then you can be national championship good. They just have continuously blown higher after higher, and it's hard. Like, it's really hard. Right? I'm not saying it's easy. And at some places it's probably easier than other. Like LSU's last 3 coaches have won national championships, so there's some advantages there that maybe transcend coaches. But for a school like A&M, where they very clearly need the guy who can take control of a situation that just can't get it quite figured out, like if you get the right guy, you can get it done. It's just trying to find those guys are just so rare.
Well, and let's be honest here. People think, and this is, we have a lot of SEC fans on the show, a lot of Georgia fans, Alabama fans, LSU fans. So there's a sense of it's easy to win a national championship. It ain't easy to win a championship. There's a lot of things that have to go right, from health to the right coach, to the right support staff, to there's a million variables. So to sit back and just say we're only a coach away from winning a championship, I think a great coach, if you did have a Nick Saban or a Kirby Smart, while that's, there's only 2 of them out there, you just can't grow those guys on trees. Like, that would 100% help the situation and give me more confidence that the Aggies could do it. But there are a lot of other things that need to continue, and they're close. They're very close. They got the money, they got the support. We have seen some cultural issues, which a coach should be able to come in there and fix. But when you bring an entire class of 5 stars and 4 stars last year, and middle of the season, you have guys smoking weed in the locker room, guys getting in trouble off the field. There are some things both on and off the field that need to get taken care of. And that's not just snap your finger and fix.
Head coach culture. Yeah, but that's the head coach that sets that tone. That's
all I'm trying to say is, like, it's not easy to win a national championship.
No. But the point is, there are only a handful of schools that you would maybe, I'm not saying we would know this for sure, but on paper, there are only a handful of schools where you would look at them and say, okay, if I put an elite coach there, they could do it. And clearly A&M is one of those teams for whatever reason. And I know everybody's saying, well, then how come that never happens? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have that answer for you, but I do know if I was a coach, I would be clamoring to get this job. I saw a pretty fascinating chart where it's called Born on Third, and it's looking at first-year Power 5 head coaches since 2015, and they've created a graph where your x-axis is inherited team talent composite. So at 4 and 5 stars, all that, like, that are on the team currently. And the y-axis is your inherited ELO rating, which all you need to know is that's like how good are you compared to the rest of college football, basically. And to give you some ideas and how this chart breaks down, Ryan Day is like on the way far top right. He inherited a ton of talent at a team that was already great. This is a different chart here that PG brought up, but it shows the point anyway, right? Marcus Freeman scores highly. Ed Ogeron took over a great situation in 2017. Yada, yada, yada. Texas A&M would be right next to Edo's LSU, Ryan Day's Ohio State, and Clay Helton's USC in terms of the situation you are taking over. If you get the right guy, you are immediately going to have a top, like if you're the coach, you're immediately going to have a top 5 talent roster in the entire country. And at that point, you're going to have all the money you need to go hire your staff, all the money you need for NIL, for everything else. So at that point, it's just on you to go win games. And you cannot tell me that that would not attract a ton of people, a ton of coaching talent. They just have to choose the right one.
Is A&M, T-Bob, kind of in the same field or world of Michigan, where Michigan, like this big brand and lots of resources, but they haven't won. I think they won championship in '97, I believe. Let's just look at the chat right now because people are talking about it. But it has not had the success you would think a brand like Michigan would have. But they got Harbaugh. Now they have a chance.
It's unfair to Michigan, though. Michigan just became the first program to win 1,000 games in a day. Like if you're making the point that Georgia and A&M are the same, then I can't get.
But we saw Michigan completely turn the corner, whether it's sign cheating or if it's Harbaugh, whatever you want to give credit to. But like they've turned the corner. Now they own the Big Ten. They're one of the favorites to win the national championship. They've been that for 3 years now. Is A&M a hardball away? Like, do you think it could be that fast of a turnaround?
That's the entire point. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just saying
1,000%. Just like Georgia.
I think that's a more. I think it's a more. Even with, I think it's a better comparison.
But well, I guess I don't. Well, I don't know if I.
Michigan was pretty bad for a while. Like where was
for
Michigan?
A couple years there, though. I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, again, Michigan.
2000s was not Michigan's time. They were getting whooped. They had some pretty bad seasons.
Okay. Either way, we're getting lost in a bit of semantics because it seems like we agree. A&M is the correct. I love making fun of them, and it's funny to hear Ross Bjork talk about this national championship job when they averaged 7.5 and 5. But the bigger question, the bigger mystery to me is not like, can they win a championship? It's how they have not up to this point. And that's what I can't put my finger on. And that's why if you want to say they won't because you look at the past, okay, that's up to you. But I still think they can. And I actually kind of will rue the day when they finally when they finally figure it out and hire the right guy.
I just don't know who that right guy is in the SEC that is going to be better than Nick, Kirby, or Brian Kelly.
I didn't say it was gonna be this higher. You know, I don't know that it will be.
But Brian Kelly ain't going anywhere at LSU. Kirby ain't going anywhere at Georgia. I'm just saying, like, I just don't know who out there that is. You have to be on that level or obviously better in order to beat those guys in your conference.